Today's episode is brought to you by Munchie Mug, the world's #1 premium no-spill snack cup. Listen to today's episode for a special offer from Munchie Mug. Munchie Mug, making your life less messy.
Hey everybody, it's me, producer Steven. I'm hopping in the front seat today to do this intro because we are doing a rerun. We're doing a classic episode. We're doing an episode from last year that we ran around Christmas time around. I think it was like December 21st is when we ran this episode originally. Dustin and Mel are taking the week off. You know what? They do deserve it. They deserve a week off. And I hope they're having a good time chilling and relaxing and not having to record. I hope you guys had a good Christmas, man. I really do. I hope you probably had a better Christmas than me because I'm going to tell you what, I had COVID for this is not a joke, COVID for the third time, THIRD, third time, 3 times I've had COVID, bro. I work in an office with 9 times out of 10, there is me and 3 to 4 of the people in the office the entire day. I have very little, I don't know how I keep catching the vid. I was alone for a lot of this Christmas, like a lot of times when everyone was off and hanging out, and my wife took the kids up to my mom's house, and I was alone for like 3 days. And I just realized I am not equipped to be alone for 3 days. I went absolutely insane, absolutely crazy. If you would have seen me, I was walking around the house. I was just doing laps around the house, just walking around the house, doing laps, talking to the dog out loud, talking to the cat, doing their voices back to me. No joke, doing the voice of the cat. I was like, hey cat, hey, what's up, man? What are you doing? Oh, just walking around. Just still feel a little sick. Yeah, you look terrible. Hey man, why are you being mean? Oh, I'm sorry. I just wanted to tell you the truth. Stuff like that. Just talking to myself, just being an absolute crazy person. If somebody would have put a camera in my house and saw what I was doing, I would have been committed the next day. Straight up would have been committed the next day. I must have looked insane. I can't do it. My house is always so loud and so noisy. There's always so much stuff going on, and I just got used to that. I just don't know how to act. I just don't know how to feel when it's quiet. It feels. I hate it, man. I hate it. I watched a movie that I knew I was gonna hate just to feel something. I put on a movie on that I knew I was going to absolutely hate because I knew it was going to make me feel an emotion that was not boredom. And I hated the movie. I hated every single second of it. And I was mad, and it felt good for a second. And then it was over. I actually tried to watch the Star Wars prequels because I was trying to do it. I was like, maybe I could do this again. Maybe I could watch the movie I hate. But I hate those movies so much. I got through about 30 minutes of the first one, and I was like, nah, no. I'd rather just sit in silence than watch this. So, but I'm all good now, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling fun and flirty like my old self again. And I'm glad that I'm glad you guys are with us. I appreciate you guys for listening. It really does mean a lot to me. I know it means a lot to Dustin and Mel, but also means a lot to me, man, because we do put a lot of effort and we put a lot of work into this. It's just, it doesn't just happen. A lot of effort goes into it, and when you look back, you see the numbers, you see people commenting and saying how much they enjoy it. It's nice to even just be a small part of it like I am. It feels good to see you guys enjoying it. So I'm glad, I'm just glad that we're together. We can do this together. It gets me a little verklempt when I think about it, but I'm happy you guys are here. I know some of you guys are having a hard time during this Christmas season because of all the weather, man. It's, buddy, I'm not going to rub it in. I'm here in California. I'm not trying to rub it in. But I know a lot of you people have very strong opinions about California, very negative opinions about California. And you guys would say stuff like, I could never live there. It's too woke. It's too whatever. You guys would never want to stay here. But let me tell you this. Learning what a pronoun is a lot easier than shoveling snow. All right? Just putting it out there, just letting you know it's pretty simple to say they, but it's hard to shovel snow. Anyways, I hope everyone's having a good time though. I hope everyone is getting through it together. We're getting through it together as a community. And like I said, it really does mean a lot to me, guys, that you guys are here. No matter where you live, no matter where you're from, just know that we're always here for you. And we can't wait to keep providing you guys with entertainment. Some more video content I know is coming out in the future. I'm pushing Dustin to do some more audio stuff. I just say I got some plans. Okay. And if I get my way, you're going to be hearing a lot more of Dustin cutting this next coming year. So buckle up, get ready. Thank you so much. Again, I really, really do mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys for listening. We love you guys so much. We'll see you in 2023.
Hey everybody, welcome to Don't Make Me Come Back There. We are a funny podcast about family. My name is Dustin Nickerson. I'm a stand-up comedian and the host of the aforementioned podcast. And directly across from me, and here in our own home recording studio / our own home, daughter's bedroom / our own rental home. By our home, I mean the home that we live in. That it's home is
wherever I am with you.
Wherever I am with you, Brandy Carlisle. Or home is where...
I know it's that other band.
The heart is. Or home in the...
Alabama, Arkansas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The point being is we're in our daughter's bedroom.
In our rental house.
We are sitting in beanbags directly adjacent to bunk beds. There's also
There's a pile of clothes on the floor.
There's a pile of clothes. Some of them mine.
Yeah.
Got mixed in here. There is a fireplace for some reason in this room because I think when it was built, it's
going to be a den.
It was going to be a den. It has access directly to the backyard.
Add-on.
The kids'
den.
stockings hang from their bedroom.
Well, this is like one of our only homes that have had a fireplace.
Yes.
So you got to utilize it.
Yeah. And by utilize it, we mean house the Legos and then the stockings
on it.
Yeah, exactly. So
yes,
that's where we are. Wherever you are, thanks for listening and being a part of the little podcast that could hear. We are very, very grateful to have you. We have our holiday horror stories continue today.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about a little weekend recap. I'm going to tell you about the fight that Melissa and I had just minutes before we got here and a little bit about just holiday weeks in general. And then we'll bring it home with some HHS's. Holiday horror stories. That being said, a couple business items here.
Okay.
For those of you, I think, did we talk about this already that came out to the San Diego show? Did we talk about that?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, that was the last headlining show that I did, 12/12. Thank you, everyone who did come out to that. It was much appreciated. We had a good time at the Laugh Factory there. I believe I haven't been paid yet.
No.
But, I'll take that up with accounting. Yeah, you know what? I really wish I wouldn't have brought that up right now because it's a little discouraging. You know what? Let's move on.
I was going to say, I think, Steven, pull this out.
Steven,
become a business meeting.
Steven, keep what you see fit in any of this. And it might be everything. If you decide to keep everything in here,
maybe
that's totally
they will
fine.
Hear this podcast.
Yeah.
And, pay us.
Oh, yeah. And we get... the power that this podcast has can really just bring that institution down to the ground too. So, we got to be careful not to mix our words here. Mince our words. What's that expression?
I think it's mince.
Mince? Like mince meats?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do we think the meaning of that comes from?
Me and expressions.
Can you tell me A, the meaning of mincing words, or B, the meaning of Christmas?
Usually you say let's not mince words.
Let's not mince
That's
words.
That's actually what our fight was about.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. But I do definitely want to talk about that. But I also want to know what mincing words means. What do we guess here? It's not like minting words, right?
No, it's like...
To mince words is to moderate one's language, to keep within the bounds of what is prudent or polite. Mince words are usually referred to in the negative. Do not mince your words. So when you don't... Yeah, okay, I get it.
Like you overstep, right?
Yeah, I get it.
MJ in the movie today, she said, "Are you being prudent?" And I was like, would a teenager ask a teenager if they were being prudent?
Right. I mean, maybe if they were like going to NIT.
I guess.
Or were they going to NIT? MIT. Did I say NIT?
NIT.
That one I do know. That one's just because I'm Googling stuff at the same time.
Yeah, they are smart kids. So
that's the
maybe
whole idea.
they have a better vocabulary
they do.
Than we do.
But you know what? My vocabulary is good enough that people come to see me do stand-up comedy, talking to a mic. And you have a couple opportunities to do that coming up. Go ahead, Mel.
Nobody says, "Wow, Dustin, you have a great vocabulary."
No. They mess up.
Funny.
You know what's funny is Taylor has a great new joke on the Netflix special that she just filmed about couples, and someone's like, I'm not going to give away the whole joke because it's coming out, but like, you know, like somebody are like, are you the chocolate or are you the raisin? And it's very funny. And she's like, and then some people are like, aren't we chocolate covered chocolate? Like, well, like those Lindor chocolates. And those are called Lindorf chocolates.
Yeah.
But she called them Lindor chocolates. And she did not realize that until after it had been filmed.
You know what? I kind of thought the F was silent.
Really?
Like a French word or something.
Really?
Yeah. Because I thought that was Lindor.
Well, don't mince your words, Melissa. Don't you dare.
We're all learning something today.
No, I actually am very confident that I've probably messed up about 17 words since we started recording 5 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have good internet access. I'm realizing right now to check these things,
no.
and I also just don't really care too. So
it's the week of Christmas.
it is.
If you're listening to this, you're hitting the road.
Yeah.
You're out doing some last minute shopping.
Yeah.
Standing in a very busy line.
You're sitting in your car crying.
That too.
Because you need a break.
Yeah.
From the in-laws. More like the outlaws. Am I right? You're drying your hair. You're doing a lot of
dishes.
stuff. And also, this coming Sunday, we have our Patreon Zoom hang 2 days after Christmas. Someone was going to tell me we were going to be talking about
one, but yeah.
One day after Christmas. Don't mince words. With me, Melissa.
Don't be prudent with me.
Don't be prudent. So we tell people about exactly the Patreon Zoom hang is, and maybe what kind of hot, zinger icebreakers you might have planned.
Oh man. Well, we had a pretty good group in November, and we talked about our favorite Christmas songs, and there were some new patrons that came. We had a grand old time. We are going to hear about Damaris's dog, who's been struggling with some dog anxiety.
Great.
So we're on the edge of our seats to hear the update.
Dare I say it's causing me anxiety.
It might involve some medicinal marijuana for a dog.
I'm sorry. Come again?
It's like a joint for her dog. Do
you
remember that?
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now I do.
We're going to follow up. I'm sorry. Do they have to light it up? Does he take a drag of... If you remember, Tiffany said that they should put him in a little reggae hat. Yeah.
It's too much. It's too much.
So
this is the kind of stuff that you can take. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's just a way that you can give a little more to Dustin Nickerson Comedy and, and get a little more from Dustin Nickerson Comedy. Early access to videos, discount merch, free stuff in the mail, kind of access to different discussions and community stuff about upcoming projects, all those kind of things. There's other stuff in there, a yearly cameo. You would have gotten a Christmas card, which I will tell you, as you'll see as we present it, is a pretty great Christmas card.
Yep.
People are pretty excited about it. I got a lot of people texting me saying this is the best Christmas card I've ever seen. So
it's nice. Yeah.
It's we don't mess around with Christmas cards here in the Nickerson house. So you just go check out our Patreon. That's what I'm saying. And that's all that kind of fun stuff waiting there for you. So that being said, it is the week of Christmas. If you do celebrate Christmas, even if you don't celebrate Christmas, it is still the week of Christmas. This is it's an interesting thing right now how the holiday breaks because the kids have a full school week off before Christmas, right?
Yeah, that's pretty normal.
No, but I mean, it's like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's what I mean. Like with it falling on a Saturday, that's different.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's, they get 2 weeks for Christmas, but this whole week it's like Christmas break, but they don't know when Christmas is. And,
it's not like Christmas at all.
Yeah. So,
I remember when you were here. Sorry, I was doing the lyric.
All the adults
all the fun we had last year.
Scrambling.
Are you getting this reference or no?
I don't want to get off. Okay. I'm off track as well.
Melissa said she didn't want to get off track as she peeled a string or a hair or a piece of lint from her frumpy sweater.
Yes.
Yeah, which went from 8 years ago being the librarian special to now being the forefront of women's fashion.
Grandma
Which
librarian
somebody could say that of Melissa herself in the last 8 years, went from being the librarian special to the forefront of women's fashion. Melissa's had a glow up of herself in the last 8 years.
Yeah, I sent you that picture from.
Well, I started to make a little more money.
Yeah.
Being that, hey, at least every once in a while, our clothes don't have to be used.
When we didn't. I'll get this sentence out. When we didn't have to buy our shoes at thrift stores.
Right.
We hadn't had a shoe box in this house.
I do remember very vividly when we had a shoe box. You're like, oh yeah, they have whole projects where your kids need these.
Now we have one.
That was really presumptuous of them to assume that we would have these shoe boxes.
Yeah. We're not bougie. So how do you feel this week, Melissa? Because, if you were to guess on how you felt based on how you acted in Panera after the movie, you would think terrible, but perhaps you could say that of me too.
Yeah, well, okay.
What's going on, Melissa?
When one of the kids might have a cold,
right,
it can make me spiral,
right,
emotionally,
right.
So Joel had this big old tournament. He was sore yesterday, massaging his neck and stuff. And then today he was like, my throat hurts, but he has bad allergies, After Spider-Man, he was just shutting down at dinner. And I was like, is this because you don't have your phone or are you sick?
Yeah.
Because
or are you just a moody teenager?
Yeah, because I'm like, we're sending you to a Rams game in LA tomorrow with a carpool
Once in a lifetime opportunity.
6 people.
We'll discuss that phrase here shortly.
Joel's
friend. Okay,
it's just this whole thing is the game was supposed to be Sunday. Now it's Tuesday.
Let me back up a little bit for
context. And I'm
context
just like, oh no, he's gonna get COVID for Christmas.
We'll back up. Okay, there's a lot of
Christmas is canceled.
Okay.
That's where I tend to go.
So Joel sneezed 3 times
in a restaurant,
and Melissa canceled Christmas.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so full context here. As you guys know, most likely, there's been a rise in COVID cases right now. There's been a lot of cancellations and stuff like that, and in the entertainment world. And one of those things that happened was that a Seahawks game got delayed. The Seattle Seahawks were supposed to play
the
Rams on Sunday Night Football, but it got postponed 2 days, and so it's tomorrow or today, as you guys are listening. And in that time, a few things happened. One, I got home and today we went out. It's it's the start of Christmas break, right? With Dad home. And we go out and we go see Spider-Man and it's great. And, we're all having a good time. But Joel kind of on the tail end starts showing pretty sick. He had a wrestling tournament on Saturday too. So it's one of those things. It's we're not being reckless. I mean, he's vaccinated and we're trying to, we're not causing a scene and, and being reckless. But
he's also not doing any preventative care. He hasn't taken his allergy meds.
Yeah. And he also
hasn't had any cough drops.
And he also has to ride in a car for 5-6 hours with a different family tomorrow. And you're
14 boys. And it's I know I said that once in a lifetime.
Yeah.
But it's sideline box. Their season ticket holders.
Right.
So I'm
are they box seats or the sideline?
No, they're...
all the seats are sideline.
Okay, they're they have free catering built into the tickets.
Oh, okay.
So this is a nice ticket. And so then I'm well, if they should replace you if you can't go.
Right.
But he doesn't know better to be I'm starting to have some symptoms and I should probably do some things to prevent that or tell my friend I can't go so they can replace you.
Or if I were him, do my best to hide these symptoms. Because I want to go to this game.
Exactly. I mean, like I said, it's...
But you just did the at-home COVID test and...
He doesn't have a fever. Yeah, he just needs to go to bed.
He needs to go to bed, yeah.
But the fight was because in Panera Bread, I said it was a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
There were other things going on there. So the movie was, for the most part... I mean, the movie is great.
Spider-Man was so good.
It's phenomenal.
We all loved it.
One of the better Marvel movies ever, and great. It's fun, and we're not going to give any spoilers, but all of our kids loved it. Oh, yeah, so good, and probably the best my kids have ever been in a movie.
The fact that you sat with us was also a miracle.
I was so tempted to watch it without you guys.
I almost chose you a seat online that was away from us.
Honestly,
that you could actually enjoy
so that I can
experience.
enjoy it, because I don't know, let's discuss I brought this up, it's hard for me to watch movies with people, movies that I'm excited to watch, because I don't want to miss parts of this movie, especially movies that I'm really excited about. And to me, it's the most common courtesy in the world to be quiet and unintrusive, and not bothersome and annoying to other people. But I understand that I take that more seriously than others. I understand that your family talked during movies as you grew up, right? And
well, I'm sure you weren't as courteous as a child.
I mean, I don't know.
Perhaps you were.
Maybe it came from my movie theater days where every once in a while you would have to go shush somebody.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and we hadn't been, Joel had been in a theater, but but the girls and I hadn't been in a theater in 2 years.
And my kids are terrible movie watchers.
Yeah.
Like, they know I'm like this, and they just don't care.
Well, and the theater is mostly empty. It's Monday afternoon at 3.
Yeah, exactly. We caught a matinee.
And Joel finishes like 3/4 of a soda and is like shaking because sugar hits him.
Joel is like a lightweight. They talk about that with people drinking, that they can have like a drink and get drunk. Like, Joel is that way with sugar. Like, his sugar hits
especially
him.
soda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hits him so hard, so fast. And he starts like shaking. Like, he's literally like hyping in his chair, and he's like, "Can I get a refill?" And I'm like, "No. You absolutely cannot." And I take what he has left, which is already his refill. He's asking for like a third refill. And he like kind of mouths off to me. And I was like, "All right, well, you ask again, I just dump it out." And then he takes some from Gloria without asking. Just
because he's eating popcorn.
Yeah, he's just takes it without asking. And Gloria's like, "Dad, Joel just drank half my soda." And he's arguing with us. He's like, "I didn't drink half. I took us drink." And we're like, you're missing the point here. We told you have self-control issues with soda, and then we took it and you stole it. But again, that being said, that was kind of the only issue, but it was a bit of a remnant. And as we got in the car to go to Panera, because we had a gift card. Thank you, Taylor Tomlinson, who got me a very big gift card at Panera, because she knows I love Panera. That's a very thoughtful gift card. And Joel was
your comfort food on the road.
Joel was just kind of moody, and they were just asking for a lot of stuff. And then a homeless guy was yelling at the staff and got kicked out. So there was a lot of stress, right? And then you were saying you were most upset that Joel was starting to I was upset with how he was like acting, and you were upset with the fact that he was like showing some signs of sickness, right?
Well, it's kind of, this is one of those like things that my mom was really into, was if you say you're gonna go to a party, then you're going.
Right.
And if you don't RSVP, you're not going.
Right.
And
Charlene.
so I've joked with her, because I've hosted birthday parties where like 10 kids are invited, 10 RSVPs, 7 show.
Right. And you're like, they spent money on that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is a SoCal thing, but the boys have been planning this together via group text. So it's like 4 teenage boys and 2 dads.
Oh, yeah. Joel failed to tell us that
he needed his vax card, negative COVID test. So like they're learning independence, and they're learning how to RSVP, and that's what got me. I was like, he's like, "Can I lay my head down?" And I'm like, "Well, what's wrong? You're gonna drive to LA and back tomorrow." But the cause and effect of all this is like, kids don't think this clearly.
Right.
So that was what kind of set me off.
Your brain is on fire at that age. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, if you can't stay awake for dinner, then how are you going to go?
How are you going to drive to, like you said, LA and back tomorrow?
Yeah.
And the answer is because it'll be for a football game with his friends, and that's just more exciting than Panera with your family.
Exactly.
Which I disagree. I think Panera with my family is more exciting than football with friends.
Picking 2 items, be it soup, salad,
and then he forgot his mask as we walked in. And you're like, well, come on, just focus up. Just why it just feels like sometimes I feel like with like an older teen, it feels like you're just dragging this like sack of potatoes behind you. You know what I mean? It feels like weight that you're dragging. Like, come on, can you walk? Can you just move at the same speed as us? Can you focus? Like when he said like, I didn't know I needed a mask. I go, Joel, you know that it's the rules in California again.
I don't know if he does.
Well, I know because
he's been at school.
No, I told him earlier that day it was, and then we told him as we were getting out, grab your mask. He's like, I didn't know. I was like, no, you weren't listening.
Yeah, I think they're the teen stage. They're either like aloof and not present,
right,
or they're like hyperly present and correcting everything you say.
Right.
And then you're like, well, I don't like this version either.
Yeah. That is true. Like he was like kind of like nitpicking us on like some of the stuff from the movie or like some of the comic books, and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not here for this.
But it is a movie that you could definitely pull apart.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, so all of this boiled over as we were sitting at Panera Bread. You might have misunderstood what I was saying. Essentially, what we're trying to decide is if he should go tomorrow. And I didn't know if you wanted him to go or not go.
Yeah.
And then you said you want him to go because it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Well, we were on the same group text with one of these parents. And this is like not just where they were in the nosebleeds. Like, this is like their season ticket holders. And so
right.
like,
but anybody
nice.
can hold season tickets.
No, but my point is that Joel hasn't been to an NFL game in 14 years.
Right.
And so this is a really, plus 3 of his friends, like his wrestling friends, like that's a really cool thing.
Yes.
And I didn't want him to miss it.
That's fair. That's fair. Going to a game with your friends, with the drive, like that's not going to happen a lot.
Yeah.
I just laughed at it because I said...
It's an extreme statement. The once in a lifetime.
Yeah, because the Seahawks come to LA once a year. So it's more like a once in a year opportunity.
Well, and this is his team.
To which then you said, well, I'll call your bluff. Why don't you take a weekend off and take him once? You work every weekend. And I was like, okay, well, now we're getting personal.
Because you were like, lifetime. And then I was like, how many NFL games have you been
and
to?
I said like 8 or 9, you know.
I know, but I know what I meant was he's 14 and he's never been to one.
Right.
So this is his first with his team.
Yeah. It's the first in his lifetime. Not this will be your only chance. But with the friends and all that kind of stuff. Yes, I get it.
Right.
Anyways, that fight lasted a while. That was what we had that, you know, I don't know if you parents have ever had this, but when the kids like kind of politely ask you to stop fighting.
I think I have some Panera in my hair.
Pahara, am I right? Oh, also Melissa kind of like Melissa kind of also like lipped off to the Panera employee who was a high schooler because they didn't have bread, and Melissa's like, "Well, you have bread right there. I can see the bread. Can we just get like a baguette or something?"
No, Claire likes mac and cheese and the baguette.
Melissa scolded a 17-year-old girl to give her a different type of bread.
I did not.
So
she
that her
said,
child would get the size she wants. Yes.
And then, as we all said, it's Panera bread.
Right. You have it, but what she meant is they don't have the normal side bread. They don't have the
little mini baguettes for kids.
Yeah.
And I was like,
anybody. They didn't have the side baguette that you normally can get.
Could we sub that with a different bread?
Right.
And then I said, take that brioche in the case. And so she finally conceded. And then they didn't.
And then they didn't put it on there.
Bread. So then I had to go up and ask for the bread. And then she ate like 2 bites of it.
Yeah, she barely ate any of it. And
after being like, I really want that bread.
No, that same girl that you mouthed off to had to throw away a 2-bite version of that brioche. We were all a little tense because I also mouthed off to the Panera employee because our pager didn't go off, and I was like, this has been a while. And I go up there and I was like, is this for, she's like, for Dustin? I was like, yeah. And I was like, my pager didn't go off. She's like, oh, I guess we gave you the wrong number. I was like, has this been up here for a minute? Because it had been a minute. And she's like, yeah, I said your name, but I guess you didn't hear me. And I go, yeah, I moved to the different side of the restaurant because you guys were throwing out a homeless guy.
And then Gloria just started eating her soup. And I was like, isn't it hot? You probably need to stir it. She's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, because it had been sitting up there for a while, unfortunately. That being said, you know what? I have a free flatbread coming because of my Panera rewards. So we'll be back soon.
All in all, you know... Sorry, I was going to say it was a good trip, but it wasn't.
Oh, no, I thought it was. The food was good. Oh, the food was Panera. It's always there for you.
It was a Panera experience.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really wouldn't have it any other way.
You know,
if you're not fighting in a Panera bread, what are you doing?
Coincidentally, normally we go to Panera and we're like, okay, well, the kids will probably fight. And it was us this time. It was about the kids, and I still blame them for it. But...
I think we've covered this topic.
We managed to go to 2 malls on the Monday before Christmas. Of course, there was some stress.
Mm-hmm.
But the good news is, in all that driving, our van did not get messy. And the reason for that...
Things might have been messy emotionally in the front seat, but things weren't messy in the back seat, and that's because of Munchie Mug. If you're not familiar with Munchie Mug, everybody, Munchie Mug is the best spill-proof cup on the market. If you got something like movie snacks that you don't want spilled, Whoppers, Butterfinger Bites,
Kit Kats,
Dibs, Raisinets, whatever Milk Duds. If you've got these things that you don't want spilled, because first off, if you got them, you're excited about having them, that you don't want them spilled, and you're going to put them in a Munchie Mug, and they're going to stay in there. And again, things might emotionally spill over,
right?
But literally, they won't spill over.
Your snacks won't.
No, which is great news. Munchie Mug, if you go to munchiemug.com and you use promo code Don't Make Me, that's all one word, Don't Make Me, no apostrophe, you're going to get 25% off your entire order. So, it's a great product. It's made here in America. It's dishwasher safe, lots of different colors. You should check it out. You go to munchiemug.com. Munchie Mug. Making your life less messy. I don't know why I went into the Star Wars theme there, but it's, we're just kind of in a mood right now. Would you agree? Okay, let's get into some holiday horror stories, shall we?
Let's do it.
Oh,
are you going to talk about the taping, or you already did a little bit?
It was great. Taylor crushed it. There you go.
Out there in Boston, your first time.
Good at Boston. Boston's small.
Yeah?
It was fine. It was cute. I liked it, but I was like, I get why people leave here.
Just the downtown?
It's very small.
Yeah.
I don't even know. The Boston population is not very big. Like, you kind of get there and you're like, okay, again, like it's like a legendary it's 684,000.
What would you compare it to?
I mean, that's smaller than Seattle.
That's crazy.
Seattle's close to 1 million. San Diego's 1 million.
Yeah.
It's just, it's interesting because it's a very iconic city.
Yes.
And so when you think of, because of its sports scenes, because it's kind of its impact on culture, because of so many famous people that from Boston, because there's been movies and stuff like that, and the accent is all kind of played up. It's a very influential city. Yeah. But it's not big. Like, size-wise, I mean, it's hard to even, I'm trying to even think, like, everything in the Midwest is way bigger. Minneapolis, Chicago, Detroit. New York is obviously way bigger.
So maybe it's like
what were you going to say?
Like a mid-sized city.
Yeah, it's like a Portland. That's what it is. I would compare it size-wise to Portland. I don't know what Portland's population is. I bet it's pretty similar. 645. Almost identical.
Wow, you did it!
Holy crap.
You were the man for the job.
I have got a problem that I just linked those two cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're on the water, and same thing. It's one of those cities that everybody knows and everybody talks about. Yeah. And everybody's got something to say about Boston and Portland.
Boston.
They're just two sides of a coin, those two cities.
Yeah.
It's cute. It's lovely. And we were also staying in like a very like bougie area. Yeah. So I was like, I don't think this is like the actual Boston, but it's also like warmer there than it was in San Diego. And I was like, this can't be ideal. But it was fun. Taylor crushed it. And then we went to Raleigh. Raleigh was super weird. And I'll tell you all about that another time.
Okay.
But we have some holiday horror stories to get into. This one right here is subject travel stories. And this is from Jessica. Ready?
I'm ready.
Last summer, we took our 4 kids and my husband's 20-something-year-old brother on a road trip to Yellowstone National Park. Okay. We got up early and had the kids eat quick so we could hit the road. My 4-year-old didn't have much of an appetite, so she had a banana. That seems ominous. Seating arrangements were...
Keep that in mind.
Yeah, exactly. My husband and I in the front, the 4-year-old and brother-in-law in the second row in captain chairs, and the 3 other kids in the third row. Okay, we're 30 minutes into our 8-hour road trip and already hitting the mountainous pass in western Montana. You're likely familiar with Snoqualmie Pass. We are, through the Cascades on I-90. Basically wide curves up a hill, then down.
We've driven through Montana.
Yeah, this is not like that. It has very tight curves, almost like switchbacks. Uh-oh. It didn't take long for the 4-year-old to say, "Mom, I'm going to vomit." As soon as we turned around to question the legitimacy of the statement, she started blowing banana chunks. We knew it. My childless brother I forgot the brother was there. My childless brother-in-law instantly yelled, "Ugh, she's puking!" and physically turned his 6'7" body in the opposite direction. I was like, really, bro? Help a kid out. Nope. 5 seconds later, she goes for round 2. Banana vomit all down her shirt, her car seat and straps. It's when it gets in the straps in the car seat.
Yes.
With a 5-point harness and all down her hair.
Oh.
Which happens to be about as long as her waist. Yay.
You just cut it off right there.
Don't miss little kid puking in car days. We couldn't even pull over right away because there wasn't a big enough shoulder on the pass. We had to drive for a while to find a turn off. Thank the good Lord we were on a trip and had a week's worth of clothes in the suitcase. We were able to change her banana/vomit clothes, remove her car seat cover, and put them into a garbage bag that also happened to have packed. That was smart with the garbage bag there. We had also had some baby wipes for dry erase activity books. Again, thank God, since she's potty trained, we typically don't have diaper wipes. I use about 50 wipes to clean her up, wipe off the inside of the car and her car seat. We use the water bottles we packed for our trip and some travel shampoo to wash her hair on the side of the road.
Travel shampoo?
Yeah.
Wow.
As semis whizzed by, you would be so
Never
stressed.
Thought about that. I went through like 7 outfits once getting Gloria to the coast.
We put a sweatshirt on her car seat so she wouldn't be on the hard plastic for 8 hours. Needless to say, the trip
This is your 4th child.
The rest of the trip was smooth sailing, but the thought of a road trip instantly brings back the smell of bananas, and not in an appetizing way. Thanks for the last, Dustin and Mel. Jessica.
Wow.
Post Falls, Idaho.
Gloria did throw up a banana once.
When?
And she was in the back of like a 4-door sedan. We were going to LA or something. She was like 5. Because she gets a little car sick.
Right.
It just like Claire and you. But she was like, she didn't eat bananas for like a year or 2. Because she was like, it was the banana that made me sick.
Right. Which is unfortunate because bananas are what you're supposed to have when you are sick.
But I think with little kids, like being higher up helps them. And in sedans, if you're lower and you can't see out, I think that had to have something to do with it. Because she wouldn't throw up just driving on the freeway in our car.
I just remember this is the most dad thing, and maybe this is just a me thing. I would be just so mad we had to stop.
I think by your 3rd kid, you can catch puke in a bag.
Yeah, you can kind of...
I know it because I've caught it. You hear the noise, the gurgle, and you turn around with your grocery store plastic bags and just catch it.
Got it. No, stop. Throw it out the window.
We do not throw barf bags
Melissa,
out the window.
I'm kidding. This is a comedy podcast. Don't
I'm just impressed about the shampoo.
Don't deconstruct the
thought
bits.
About that.
The shampoo is smart. It was very, very smart. But we just straight up wouldn't bathe them, so we don't sweat it. Next one. This is from Anna, and the subject is Griswold Family Christmas Tree Horror.
Right.
Hi, Nickersons. My apologies in advance if you or any of your listeners are squeamish regarding bugs. Oh.
I've heard this. I've heard about this. I'm excited.
You haven't know the story. You've just heard.
I know the premise.
You have an idea where this may be going.
Mm-hmm.
So you may know the classic National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation movie, of course. My family always joked that we were obtaining more and more stories, unfortunately, similar to those depicted in the slapstick, and I have 2 short Christmas tree horrors to delight with you. For reference, we, the Preebies, pronounced Preebie, are diehard real tree fans. Nonetheless, this year is our first fake tree, as we've given up all hope. The first story is honestly our own selfishness of wanting a big, beautiful tree. We live in Spokane and drive about an hour into the mountains every year to get a tree. I love the opening scene when they're singing in it.
Yeah.
And the kids in the back. Rusty is so funny in that movie.
He is so funny.
The son,
hey, Russ.
He crushes every line.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah. And when he catches him like oogling over the girl at the store, the way that he handles that, and he's like, hey, Russ, you can't even see the line.
Yeah. The panty line. Yeah.
Anyways, when you're in the mountains, you can't really gauge the size of a tree since there's snow and it is relative to all other massive trees. That's how we came home with a 12 by 12 foot tree.
What?
Scraped off the siding and trimmed around our door and couldn't cut the ropes lest we break the windows. We literally brought a saw into our living room and cut the tree into very small pieces and carried it back outside.
What?
So they bring the tree in
Yeah, I get
realize
it now.
it's too big. Cut it back down to bring it back outside. And then we hit a tree farm for a more reasonable purchase. When we didn't learn our lesson, this past 2020 Christmas, we bought a nice tree, and had it fully decorated for about a week. One day, my sister noticed what looked like thousands of tiny beads on the floor. They were alive. They were giant aphids. How do you say that? Aphids.
Yeah.
We later learned, and there were multiple nests embedded in the trunk of the tree.
No.
We scrambled to save the ornaments and presents, but they had crawled under the wrapping paper. And we had to rewrap most presents.
Oh, no.
And anxiously hope friends and family didn't have bugs on their gifts on Christmas. We hauled the entire thing outside, all of us covered with the aphids. Aphids, am I saying that? Aphids, sorry. Crawling on our arms and necks, going underneath gloves we had used for protection. We went without a tree that year, and 2021 is our first fake tree year. I still get shivers thinking about it. I have attached pictures for your enjoyment there.
Oh.
That is hysterical. Thank you,
Oh my gosh.
Anna, for the email. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. All right, 2 more. This one right here is from Thomas, and the subject is HHR with divorced MIL. I think he meant it HHS, but it doesn't matter.
Holiday horror story.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
All right, this is from Thomas in Fernandina Beach, Florida.
All right.
Dustin and Melissa, my wife, 3 boys, and I drove 13 hours from Florida to D.C., where my parents and my wife's divorcee mom conveniently live 40 minutes apart. The intended plan was to spend a total of 15 days in D.C. for our Christmas vacation. Sounds normal, sounds great, especially in a glitzed up D.C. Then, oh, the horror. With great bemoaning and complaining, my mother-in-law found out that we have the audacity to stay with my parents for 5 of the 15 days. Essentially, it boiled down to 66.666667% of our time would we be with the mother-in-law and 44% with my parents. The gumption that we dared to spend any time with my parents sent my mother-in-law in a tirade.
Oh, no.
My wife was so pissed she flipped the switch, and we ended up staying with my parents for the whole 15 days, and my wife refused to see her own mom.
Oh, no.
We don't allow manipulation. It seems to bubble over during Christmas. I do love my mother-in-law, but her manipulative behavior drives my wife and I insane. Love the pod, though you do need to come to Florida sometime to experience freedom. That's funny, Thomas. That does make me feel better about extended family problems. All right. This one's from Melissa, and the subject is holiday humor / horror stories. Hi, Dustin and Melissa. I've been racking my brain since the challenge went out for holiday horror stories to try and think back to all the Christmases to try to remember one. Most of our horror stories come from 4th of July fireworks being thrown in the fire, flaming marshmallows in the air, and burning down an entire wood pile. I remember one year for New Year's Eve, which probably barely counts, but it's pretty funny. 2 days after Christmas, my dad had a massive stroke. Not the funny part, but necessary for the rest of the story. We decided to spend the night in the ICU, waiting on a room on New Year's Eve in case we needed to rush back to the hospital, which was over an hour from home. There were no TVs or magazines or anything in the waiting room, so it was exceedingly boring and made for long days. Earlier on the New Year's, we went to the cafeteria before getting PJs on to get our dinner. My sister hadn't eaten hers yet, so she didn't realize she needed mayo for her very bland hospital sandwich. She was trying to convince... Where's this going? I have no idea where the story was going. She was trying to convince to go with her through the hospital back. She was trying to convince me, I think you're trying to say, to go back with her through the hospital back to the cafeteria just for some mayo. She told me she'd trade me the unstained chair for the one with what looked like a bleached out vomit spot on it so that I would have it to use for the night of sleep. I finally relented and went with her to the cafeteria for mayonnaise, but by the time we made it there, it was 12:03 a.m. and they had closed at midnight, so she had to eat a very dry hospital sandwich, and I had to use the vomit-stained chair to try and sleep.
I think you're supposed to get the non-vomit chair.
I think so, too.
Because you went to the cafeteria.
It was pretty funny at the time, probably for being sleep deprived, but dry, cold meat sandwiches are pretty horrific. I agree with that. Can't wait for the upcoming Indiana tour dates and hope the Nickerson family has a great Christmas season. What were you going to say? Sounds like what?
It sounded like they were going to wear pajamas for dinner.
I was a hard one to go. I was like, are we going to do pajamas for dinner? Or I wasn't sure. I was like, is this going to be something like a mayo incident? accident. Really what it was is you fought and you were so indecisive that nobody got what they wanted.
Missed New Year's and mayonnaise.
Yeah, which, you know what? Mayonnaise is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I'm sorry that didn't work out for you guys. Guys, we appreciate you listening so much to the pod. Whatever you are celebrating, we hope that you enjoy celebrating it. Happy holidays to you, everybody. Merry Christmas. All of the above. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for listening, everybody. Wanted to give a special shout out to our As Essential as Oils patrons. That's our $25 a month and up level patrons. Thank you so much for your support of the podcast in Dustin Nickerson comedy. That is Trey Turner, Nathan and Jennifer Merritt, Adam Bush, Jennifer Ashley Downs, Juliana Smith, Jordan Cowan, Code to Grow, Courtney Eibling, Lori Amos, Dave and Melissa Cox, Isaac Terron, Farrah Journey, Bonnie Galindo, Carrie Teague, Averill Griffiths, Jessica Sewell, Rachel Kennedy, Dave Hoagland, Demarius Diaz-Stevens, Nicole Carraz, and Tiffany Payne. Thank you so much, everybody.